our on-time performance, our contractual goal with our operator, Bombardier, is a 95% on-time performance. Of course, they always strive to do better than that, but that 95% is really that contractual bar. And as you can see, they either meet or exceed that in most cases. August, we had a bit of a slip. We collectively addressed it very quickly, I believe, and so September rebounded quite nicely. Just, you know, in industry standard is about 94%, so we're above the industry standard, which I think is good news.
Could you remind us about what all happened in August? Feels like so long ago.
Honestly, there were any number of things. We had
a
trespassing
issue.
incident. Yeah.
We had cars on the track. We had a number of breakdowns in terms of equipment, and it was kind of a perfect storm where we had
a lot of lightning strikes.
and we did have lightning strikes, and that then with our system, our electrical system, that again we have to go out and repair it. It blows up something. We have to.
Was any of it related to the fact that we were going further, that the trains were going further? Because the other part of the perfect storm was that we all of a sudden had more people standing at stations waiting for trains that were late, because you had the southern expansion happen kind of at the same time.
I think maybe indirectly, in the sense that there were a number of new crews, and so, you know, still getting used to having that longer schedule, still, you know, the new crews getting used to the feel of the equipment. I think there's something to be said for that. And so one of the things that we did on the mechanical side and on the crew side is just look at where we might need to do some additional training. On the mechanical, we had, I believe, 2 new mechanical staff, and so some of their troubleshooting, they needed some additional training in terms of troubleshooting, so we've taken care of that. In terms of the crews and the operations, just we've had a number of staff out there monitoring them, making sure the train handling is being taken care of. So I think probably the most important thing is Elliot meets with this team on a daily basis every morning, and they review the previous day's operations. And so very quickly, when we see trends going in the wrong direction, we gather to try to address them as quickly as we can.
And we're trying to actually look at what is the real problem, what is the cause, and, you know, trying to dig down to get to the root cause of the problem. Sometimes you have to, it takes you a little longer to get to that root cause in terms of moving equipment around. We're up to, as we said, 40 trains a day, whereas before we didn't have that. We don't have the luxury that we used to have in terms of equipment. So everybody has to really keep their eye on the ball in terms of making sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So we're doing a lot more of that.
Because how can you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but how can you, yesterday as an example, you canceled the 326 train.
We had a crew member with a medical emergency.
We had a crew member that had a medical emergency, and she could not operate the train. And we had to call EMS down there, and we did not have enough time to get another crew, because we run a very tight ship, whereas we don't have people standing around because you have to pay them. So if someone gets sick, then we have to readjust very quickly. So in that particular case, we were not able to get another person down there. And again, because we're traveling more distance, if you go down I-4 to get to Point Siena from up at Sanford, it takes you a little while at that time of the day. So these are some of the issues. And again, in terms of the meets we talked about earlier with the meets of the trains, it's very difficult with a bus in traffic to meet that time frame. We've all been on I-4 where you can say it'll take 10 minutes and you're out there for almost an hour. So these are some of the issues that we have to negotiate through as we're running a system.
That just freaked me out. I was like,
it's all run by people and equipment. If someone gets sick, we have to readjust. Sometimes the readjustment takes a little longer than anticipated.
So each train has one driver.
It has one engineer and one conductor. And in order for that train to move, you have to have that team. So if the conductor gets sick, the train doesn't move. If the engineer gets sick, that train does not move. And our responsibility is we have to get relief to that person that has the skills of a conductor and a train, because they don't have the same skill set. They're a different skill crowd. So you have to get a conductor or you have to get an engineer. And we have a protect train, but sometimes you cannot, it's not instant to get relief at that particular location.
When you're in the 30-minute peaks, by the time you would get an additional crew down there, your next train is coming anyway. So I think it would have been probably a little different if we were in some of the midday gap, but with a 30-minute headway, by the time you staged a new crew, you'd have the next train coming.
And all the crew starts in Sanford?
No, we have,
Shift?
no ma'am. We have some that start in Point Siena as
Okay.
well. So they actually sign up at Point Siena.
Okay. You just didn't have anybody,
We did not have.
any spares on
We did not have
call
an
or
extra
anything?
board down there.
Okay.
Because we did not have an extra.
The next train to go out could not fill in that gap?
The next train, that meant that as that train was coming out of the yard, we had another train that was coming down, but that other train would fill in that gap. That would have been, as Nicholas said, the 30-minute delay before that train got down there.
Wow. So when they had that accident a couple of weeks ago where I believe it was somebody was on the track
Mhm.
and the only farther we could go was Florida Hospital. And there was, when we got on the train, no one said, but there was no kind of not letting these riders know what is actually going on. I got on the train, and when I got to Florida Hospital, they said, okay, this is the end of the run. I went, what? I didn't even have a clue. And then I get off and we're just standing around and hoping that they might get a bus to us. I ended up having to Uber. I had to get home. And so it's just, I know it was emergency, I know it was not normal, but
And
let
I
us
apologize
know.
for that.
Let us
That-
know.
That's what we try to communicate with our crews, to let our passengers know what's going on. Because yes, we do have problems, but our whole thing is communication, back and forth. And we use social media, we also use variable message signs, but we did not.
didn't even text. I
Yes,
had the
yes,
text, didn't
yes.
even text us about it. We're just standing there not knowing. The ambassador didn't know if there was gonna be a bus link for us for quite a while. And it's very aggravating when you're stuck there and you had to be at home at a certain time. I had to pick up my child by a certain time.
Yes.